Namaste and welcome to Path to Anandam series. And today our topic is power of humility, humbleness, and inner modesty. Pranam to Guruji, Hariharji Maharaj for his blessings. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. And whatever you see on this page, it's a blessing of Guruji and Bhagwan Krishnaji and support from all of you coming together this morning. So thank you again. All of our videos are posted on YouTube channel Satya Kalra. So in case you want to go back and listen to it or share it with others, they're all available there. Today's subject, the power of humility, humbleness, and inner modesty, which is focused on transforming ego to grace. And we will discuss what is humility, humbleness, and modesty. Why humility, humbleness, and inner modesty is important. And what does Gita say about it? How to practice, open the heart to wisdom, and what are the benefits by doing that? What does science say about it? What are the practices we can do to have the ultimate connection with the Supreme Power? And what is our sankalpa? I'm kind, I'm calm, and compassionate. And our homework and meditation on I am humble and peaceful. So why this subject was chosen? Because there is so much competition is going on. There is so many activities that are happening in the world, even political, due to ego, I-ness, minus, selfishness, so much turmoil within and without. In other words, we struggle ourselves many times with insults, disharmony, as well as when somebody else did this, somebody else achieved it, and my way or highway. And especially on the social media, people are posting it and making the comments, and everyone is trying to show their I am better than others. And due to that, there is so much disharmony within, dissatisfaction. And therefore, this subject was chosen, that what is humility, humbleness, and inner modesty? Why should we have that? And again, this is one of the divine quality, virtues, which we should possess, because it says in Bhagavad Gita, Devi Sampad Vimokshaya. Means divine qualities lead us to ultimate peace and harmony. freedom from miseries and pains, vimoksha. So therefore, it is very, very important to understand this quality, humility, which is the foundation of our daily behaviors. In fact, it is the strength that comes from knowing who we are, our true nature, that I am Sat Chit Anand. So it is not a weakness, but we must be aware of it, that this is a divine quality. This is the quality where arrogancy, I-ness, minus dissolves and gives us the high self-esteem and feels us a pride of ourselves, not the proud of ourselves. Proud means ego. I am better than you. But here, pride. So this quality, humility, is not thinking less of ourselves. So it's not a weakness and thinking less of ourselves, but it's a thinking of ours, who we are. We are no less than others. So inner modesty. This is the deepest form of humanity. It goes further up, deeper. This is a sacred grace of the soul within, which help us to feel, which makes us to feel that I am the infinite soul, the pure conscious level. And this inner modesty comes when we bow down. But we bow down to supreme power, not from fear, but with respect. So this is the next level of humility. How to ultimately get that strength? We have to develop inner modesty. So it is surrounding ego and aligning with the divine flow, a sign of true wisdom and inner strength. So even though there is so much egoism is going on, we still have a divine flow within us, which leads us to bow down. And then humbleness. When humility and inner modesty are together, thinking the supreme power, our confidence, our strength, then humility comes in action. In other words, we express through our gentle words, kindness, simplicity, services, gratitude, and respect to all, regardless of what titles they have, what positions they have. We respect them as a human being, we see God in all, the divinity in them. So humanity is the foundation of greatness, where we possess all these qualities. So it's the foundation of reaching to, connecting to supreme power, keeping the heart pure while the mind is still achieving. So mind is fully aligned with the worldly activities, but the heart is connected with the supreme power. And in Bhagavad Gita, it says, and actually beautiful word in verse 13:8, it has many qualities, and one of the quality it says, amanitvatam, freedom from pride, humility of heart. awareness that all is divine grace. So humility is the sign of strength, not the weakness. And it says, a humble heart, the pure heart, becomes the dwelling place of divine wisdom. So the key is, where does this humble heart comes? Humility, inner modesty, and practicing through the humbleness. Then our heart becomes pure. And then we experience the presence of divine within us. So this is the art of being small in ego, but large in heart. So this slide explains further that what is the difference between humble, humility, and non-humble, and inner modesty. How can we recognize ourselves and others, but mainly ourselves, because it says inner modesty. And I put it here as a sattvic and rajasic. This is more qualities of a sattvic person, simple person. And we have learned in Bhagavad Gita, sattvic means who has the hallmarks, the characteristics of a sadhu, means a simple person who respects all. And these are the qualities, again, summarize it here. And these are the rajasic people who are, again, selfish, want everything from themselves. And actually, I put the examples here, Duryodhana and Krishna Bhagwan Ji and Arjun. And also how these pride people are and how the humility people are. This is basically, it's a proud. And then what they do. So how these people view themselves. So the humble person with inner humility sees himself or herself as the instrument of the divine and very grateful and very grounded. But at the same time, the non-humble, egoistic person sees that I'm superior, I am better than others. So they're more like egocentric, and they want the attention of others wherever they go. They want to be the attention of the center. And how the sattvic people speak, they are gentle, they are respectful, they are very kind, they are very honest. At the same time, the non-humble person is boasting about himself or herself. They're just boasting. They're harsh, they are very argumentative, they are easily get engaged, get in the arguments, and they're very judgmental, and we see those people around us. And sometimes we do that, so it is just the warning for us also that it means we are not humble at that time. And the listening, the humble person listens to understand before the person speaks. But the egoistic person listens only to reply or control the conversation, and always thinking about it. What am I going to say next after this person finishes the sentence? And this is a very common vices we all have. And this is a very good one, response to praise and criticism. Are we balanced? Because the humble people are balanced. They accept both grace and limitations or feedback from others. They don't get very excited when somebody praise them or somebody criticize them or give them a feedback. So they are very humble, very balanced. And here, non-humble person will be jumping up and down with the praises, but get very upset, very argumentative when they are not ready to get any feedback or criticism, because they are fearful. They think that they might be wrong. So they are very defensive. But the humble person always thinks about that this is a learning lesson for me, and they try to correct it. They see an opportunity for self-improvement. And that's why their relationship, as they respect all, their relationship is better with others. Their leadership qualities are better. They are empowering others because they are not selfish. Their self-esteem is high. And whatever they do it with the thought of service, selfless service. They do not expect anything in return. They do it for the helping others or the society, uplifting others. But the non-humble person is doing everything to gain whether praises or possessions, because they're very selfish. And right now we can see that what's happening in this world. One leader could upset the whole country, within the country, and ruining, destroying the relationship with the rest of the world. And people are suffering for the political reasons, for immigrations, for so many other issues, job situations. On the other hand, if we take an example of the humble people, always I think about Modi ji. I don't know, I usually don't name it, but I can't resist how selflessly he has all these qualities, so gentle, so respectful, so well thought. And the quality, the sattvic people, the humble people have, they're always very grateful. They express gratitude, which is one of the highest virtues, appreciation others and also Almighty. So they don't take the credit that I am the one who does it. And they get upset. But they give that it's the play of universe, and they do perform their duty with the best of the best efforts, and still thankful to Supreme Power for allowing them, guiding them. But non-humble person claims credits in every success and blames others. It's not that it gets a credit, but when something goes wrong and do not achieve what they want, then they blame others. So in summary, the inner state of divine, I call more closer to divine people, more humble, with inner modesty. Their inner state is calm, very content, very compassionate, and aligned with the divine. They feel connected with all. Vasudev Sutam Devam. This is where the Krishna Bhagwanji's verse comes, and then also Vasudev Kutumbakam. They do everything, not just for themselves, but for their nation and for the country and for the whole universe. So they have a global interest, not just the self-interest, where non-humble people, egoistic people, they are restless, anxious, and very ego-driven. Everything they want for themselves on the name of maybe on the country, on the name of, but their inner interest is what is for me. And my surroundings without giving any consideration to others. So they are ego driven and again attachment centric and egocentric. So here you can see it's the taller the tree, the deeper it bows. And we have a very similar phrase or quotation in Hindi कि जिस पेड़ पर फ्रूट लगते हैं वही झुकता है. इसीलिए कहते हैं कि जैसे खजूर का पेड़ है, बड़ा हुआ तो क्या हुआ, जैसे पेड़ खजूर, पंक्ति को छाया नहीं, फल लागे अति दूर. So this is a clear distinction that these selfish people versus humility people. The selfish people, what is for me? Humility people, they have a global interest. They are very humble. You can see that. Everything they do with humility. Here all the arguments come because of ego. And here people are sitting calmly and discussing it. So then the next question comes. Why can't all the time we and the people be humility and practicing humbleness? What is stopping us? What stops others? And again, the answer comes in Bhagavad Gita. Ignorance that I am Satchit Anand. I am that divine soul. I am unlimited. So this lack of self-awareness loses the faith in ourself and in supreme power. In other words, we don't trust our ability and also the divine power. And we live in fear because anytime we feel like, oh, this is me, this is mine, then the next thing comes. Okay, how about if somebody else becomes bigger than me? If somebody has a bigger house, somebody has a bigger car, bigger jobs, bigger titles, somebody always going to have it. But we always want to think that we are the one who has everything and we are the higher than others. We are the better than others. And when we think that way, we have a fear. We develop the fear that someday I'm going to lose that. And then in Bhagavad Gita, again, it says that these 5 + 2 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Ankar, jealousy, resentments, all these qualities draws us down, gives us the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the worries. Here you can see it, how stressful it is, because too many desires. If fulfill, want more, so more greed. Not fulfill, anger. And then fear, jealousy, stress. And then what happens? Many diseases, because we are not at ease anymore. So disease comes. And then this hatred, this confusion, and we lose the sleep at night, get heart, blood pressures, and all kind of diseases. Insomnia, immune system gets weak and develop many kind of diseases. This is what happened. That's why there are so many turmoil in the world right now, because these vices are overtaking because of ignorance. And then, as I said, social media, when we look at somebody they show very nice pictures when they are on vacations and eating in restaurants, and they take those pictures and then all kind of things. And we say, oh, these people are better than us. And then all of a sudden we develop the competition and we feel inferior. So what is the solution? And Bhagwan Ji says, here you can see this fellow is stressed out, and it is all carrying all these vices, envy, greed, anger, all this. And he's so stressed out. And he asked Bhagwanji, what should I do? And Bhagwanji says, oh, my son, you have to let go of these 5+2 enemies, all these vices, and develop the divine qualities, virtues, which we already talked about. So remove all this egoistic hypocrisy, anger, greed, all this, and develop these divine qualities. And Bhagwanji, there's a beautiful verse. Nirman moha jit sang dosha adhyatma nitya vinivrat kama Vandir vimukta sukh dukh sanger gachanti mula padam vyavamtam. Those who are fear from egoism and delusion conquer the evil of attachment. So we have to free from these selfishness, desires, and duality, like pleasure and pains, and dwelling constantly in the supreme consciousness, ourself, because here it says self means the supreme power within me. Such delusion, free, once attained the supreme state, that ultimate calmness, oneness with supreme power, and experience that I am that eternal Satchit Anand. So what are the benefits of these? Scientific benefits, medical benefits, and spiritual benefits, and how they heal us. In other words, how our body, mind, are connected with the Supreme Soul and have that feeling of oneness. So, by practicing that, the top one is rewriting the wiring of the brain, which is in medical terminology, it is called neuroplasticity increases, where you can see with practicing how the mind is cleansed. Here it's all dark, and here it's all golden, all clean. Reduces the stress. In other words, our cortisol in our body is reduced, our emotional balance, we are emotionally balanced, and enhance our heart-brain connection. In other words, it gives us the inner calmness, inner modesty, and increases the good hormones in the body, like oxytocin, oxytocins, endorphins, dopamine, which all nutrients, these are the nutrients for trust, connection, calmness, and improve our creativity, help us to focus, and mindfulness, and makes us a better and better human being, which is called the leadership. Gives us a quality of leadership. In other words, lead rather than become a follower. And then these are the spiritual benefits. It dissolves our ego. It awakens the divinity within us, that wisdom. Who am I? I am Satchit Anand. So it deepens the inner peace, contentment, empathy, compassion, and it strengthens our faith. We become more grateful and develop the tendency of surrender. In other words, we let go. Whatever comes, we let go, because we are connected with supreme power. So we are not affected with external or inner, because our inner is so strong. And also it builds a better relationship, and do the seva, selfless service, without expecting the fruit of our action, because we have a global interest and we see God in every situation, the play of supreme power, and it aligns with dharma and life purpose. So we do what is righteous to achieve the purpose of our life, to experience the supreme divinity within us, which means it leads to anandam, that blissful, and we are self-realized. So humility and modesty are the fragrance of a soul which aligns with the divinity. In other words, this is a path to Anandam. So more we humble, we are closer to the greatness in supreme power, the Almighty, as Rabindranath Tagore said. So what are our practices? Again, I put it, it is Devi Sampad Vimokshaya. These qualities takes us beyond the miseries and pains. But the question is then how to cultivate it. And again, I put it here, triple A. In summary, it is a triple A. Self-awareness. We have to live in awareness with everything we think, activity, do, etc. Here I put 5 monkeys. So we have to be in awareness that what I think, what I see, do I think, am I aligned with the supreme power? Do I see the goodness in others? Do I hear the goodness? Do I speak the goodness, greatness? And do I do the goodness? In other words, selfless service. So these 5 monkeys are fully connected with the awareness. And then our body gets aligned. We get the self-transformed. We feel the oneness. But we have to start our day with, so I put it, begin your day with humility, humbleness, and end your day with inner modesty. So in inner surrender. So start your day with Om mantra, reading Bhagavad Gita, or take a one divine quality which you think you want to work on it or improve upon it and practice it. And then make sure, allow yourself 60 minutes, if not, and they are split into 20, 20, 20 means yoga, exercises for 20 minutes, pranayam for 20 minutes, and meditation and prayers for 20 minutes. But if you don't have a time, just do 5-minute your pranayam. Maybe just do few of Surya Namaskar, sun salutes, and then whole day continue to practice, practice, practice. But make sure you do the meditation, because this is a step-by-step process. It's not just like you turn on the switch and one has to have a lot of patience for it. So during the day, practice it. And in the evening, it's time to reflect, evaluate the whole day's, how did I do it? How did I perform it? And then work on it. So, and then let go. So humbleness and modesty takes us to self-purification. It transforms us. And then we develop the greatness. And with that greatness, we experience unity with others, that oneness within and with others. So just surrender and let go. So our sankalpa is, I am humble, gentle, grounded in truth. So I am filled with humility. I renounce ego and walk the path of divine grace. And little by little, our subconscious mind get cleansed and we experience, who am I? But I put it here again, it's a step-by-step process. So our sankalpa, and once we have that sankalpa, little by little, shanai shanai uppar mein, this is, and then we experience happy, healthy, and peaceful life, and also connected with supreme power. In other words, we feel, who am I? Satchit Anand. So our homework here is, these are the questions, self-inquiry. So dhyaya abhyasnam. But we have to live like a in the awareness, but be a witness, Sakshi. And ask the question, do I know the purpose of my life? How do I react when I am praised or criticized? Am I open to others' feedback? Do I truly listen to others with an open heart and mind? Do I serve without seeking appreciation? Do I respect others and see divinity in them? And do I regularly do my spiritual practices, yoga, pranayama, meditation, selfless service? And doing all that, do I let go? Do I surrender? As it says, the humble mind opens the door. In other words, by asking these questions, we become more humble. So the humble mind opens the door to divine wisdom. A proud mind closes it. So be like the bamboo tree. The higher you grow, the deeper you go. So humility, not false modesty, not hypocrisy. So namrata, na ki dikhava. So the strength of humility, where ego ends and grace begins. Humility is not weakness, but strength refined. It bends, yet never breaks. It listens, not binds, and not blindly listens. It open. In bowing, we rise. In silence, we shine. True greatness blooms when the heart aligns. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So thank you very much for attending the session. Humility, humbleness, and inner modesty. So let's walk the path of humility, humbleness, and grace. The true power that leads to Ananda, our path to Ananda, blissful state. So thank you very much.